What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Blade, and we're back with some more disturbing reaction. Today we got our boy Yapmaster dropped like a day ago, and we got disturbing horrors from DeviantArt. So without further ado, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 500 subs by the end of the year. Come on, everyone who watches this, subscribe. Be a part of the Blade gang. W reactions, W horror games. Coming soon, W live streams. If we hit 500 subs. Big live stream celebration. Without further ado, let's start.
These are the most disturbing crimes that happen in the DeviantArt community, and as the video goes on, the deviants go from weird to horrifying. It's 2011.
A simp for Bart Simpson, 2011. First of all, I thought DeviantArt was like you just put art on there. So the fact that there's creepy ass people on this website, I mean, well, it is what it is, bro. Art will attract the creepy people no matter what.
A time when Simpson fans were flooding the internet with memes and creative redesigns of the show's characters. But on DeviantArt, one user stood out for all the wrong reasons. Known online as Solid Mario, he filled his entire gallery with drawings of Bart Simpson, not in fun or harmless reinterpretations, but in ways that were deeply questionable and unsettling. One of the pictures in this gallery shows Bart sleeping with his pajama pants down, while another depicts Fry from the animated series Futurama tickling Bart. And more disturbingly, Solid Mario drew Fry rubbing Bart's belly and attached a weird dialogue that read,
"Doesn't it feel good, Bart? Oh yeah, I love it when you rub my belly, Fry. Thanks, Bart. I love doing it for you. After all, it's a beautiful belly. Aw, thanks, Fry."
And things soon went from weird to creepy, after Solid Mario entered his own comment section to ask,
"They're both so cute in their pose together. Just out of curiosity, which of them do you think is cuter?"
A user then responded saying he would prefer Milhouse, another Simpsons character, while Solid Mario had a different opinion, as he chose Bart instead, saying he has a childish charm. And the comment section went silent for weeks, until Solid Mario came back to say,
"Bart is the cutest cartoon kid ever,"
even though nobody actually responded to his initial comment. While this was a little strange, it was nothing compared to what Solid Mario did next, as he would show his obsession for Bart by making random posts saying he could hug and kiss Bart all day. And a few users noticed his excessive love for Bart and expressed their concern. But Solid Mario then replied saying he didn't do nothing extreme or weird, because he'd seen Bart presented similarly on the show. And soon after defending himself, more DeviantArt users would question him for his obsession and weird representation of Bart. But instead of addressing the actual issue, Solid Mario just deleted his account and created a new one under the username CrimsonTuba1069. And right after, he became active again, and he made a post that would eventually attract other users' attention by hinting about his past.
"I'm a man of many interests. I have a troubled past that I have no desire to talk about, but will not hesitate to say what's on my mind, if need be. I've been diagnosed with autism and Asperger's syndrome since I was at a young age. Do I use this as an excuse for things? Sometimes, yes. Am I a bad person? No. Well, at times I may seem that way, but I'm really not all that bad once you get to know me. Unless you do something that upsets me. That's when I'm not so good. I get offended very easily. I actually used to make art on my first account here. It didn't end well. Don't ask about it though. I do not want to be asked about my past."
Well, this guy's using the autism Asperger's pop out. This is a common occurrence in these videos. I'm not surprised.
This would make other users suspicious that Solid Mario was behind the account, and in no time he would actually confirm their suspicions by posting more bizarre stuff about Bart. And his case got only more attention after some DeviantArt users made YouTube videos about it, but he couldn't cave in. Instead, he went under these videos to drop negative comments and threaten the YouTubers. In one of the comment sections, for example, he called the creator a stalker and responded to himself saying he got carried away for a while. And a few seconds later, Solid Mario would use a YouTube account he created under his name Bart Simpson to kickstart a conversation with himself, saying,
Okay, bring it down. Hang on, let's think about this for a minute. I did draw you without clothes, a lot. But did I ever touch you? No, you never touched or hurt me. You were always kind and generous. It's really my fault.
This guy's definitely on the spectrum. And this is just weird.
Though, if I had never shown my doodle, this never would have happened. So are we cool now, Bart? Yeah, we're cool, man. Friends? Yeah, friends. See you for movie night this weekend, Bart. Your place this time.
And Solid Mario genuinely thought this would stop everyone from coming after, but instead he just faced more backlash from the community, so much so that he had to delete his new account and create another one with the name Solid Mario V2. And he then made a post announcing his return and making a promise saying,
"I deactivated my Solid Mario account, but came back with a promise to the world and myself. As of now, I am no longer a redacted and will destroy my nasty urges and thoughts of Bart Simpson. I shall stick stick to being normal and upload photographs of normal things, like dioramas and stuff. I am a changed man.
But Solid Mario wouldn't keep his promise, as he almost immediately started to post cringy arts of Bart again. And this time he caught the attention of a well-known YouTuber and commentator known as Blackbuster Critic. This YouTuber was known for making commentary videos about fandoms and calling out weird users on different platforms, especially DeviantArt. Blackbuster questioned Solid Mario on DeviantArt about the disturbing art he makes and why he just wouldn't stop. And Solid Mario simply responded saying he didn't consider the art weird because he watched an episode of The Simpsons where they showed Bart's private part while he was skateboarding. And Solid Mario's response made Blackbuster so furious, he decided to make a video about it.
The internet is a dark and terrible place.
Yep. That's a given.
Especially because sickos like Solid Mario version 1, 2, or 3, or Fun Lover 2012, whatever name he goes by now, he's a terrible person. He's a and he wants to have with Bart Simpson.
Now Solid Mario wasn't actually happy about this and responded to Blackbuster with threats of violence, saying he was going to take Blackbuster's life in his sleep. But of course he didn't budge, so Solid Mario instead targeted the video itself, using his account and many other alt accounts to report the video. And the beef actually dragged on for a couple of years, but eventually in 2014 the video would actually be taken down and Solid Mario would appear for a while. Now in Solid Mario's absence, a DeviantArt user, Alan Pardew, made a Kiwi Farms thread calling him out, and a lot of other users also gave their opinion about his case. Now this thread would also eventually go silent until 2016, when everyone who commented started receiving replies under their comments. Solid Mario was back, and this time with even more alt accounts to send threats and defend himself with comments like,
"Can't believe the bad person from Kiwi Farms is continuing his work by making an ED page on poor Solid. How can people do this to such a sweet guy? He didn't do anything wrong. Why do people hate that he cares about Bart so much? He doesn't deserve this. That bio of him that Emperor Luke Solo wrote that was put on pastement by someone is truer than anything that any troll would ever say about it. From the happy beginnings to the sad tragedy of his life being torn apart by Blackbuster Critic and other internet meanies. All of it, it's all true."
And from there, Solid Mario started demanding the thread to be taken down by sending negative reviews with multiple accounts. And when the original poster commented about the reviews, Solid Mario simply replied by saying,
"Remove the threat and the attacks will cease. Those are the demands."
Solid Mario would terrorize the DeviantArt community some more, harassing other users until he disappeared again in 2016. And at first, everyone was relieved to see him go, but that feeling didn't last long, because on July 19, 2017, in a
Yo, does this guy not have a job? Like, yo, this has been going on for 6 years. Does he not have school? Does he not have a life? Like, to do all this nonsense, have you not grown as a person within the 6 years? How old was he in 2011? That's what we need to know first. To see how old he is now in 2017. Come back. Bro, 6 years is a long time. That's like, if you're like 11 years old, then you're 17. It's like, dude, gotta grow up, bruh.
account named Solid Mario V4 would post this journal titled "I'm back," and in it he wrote,
"I've decided to come back to DeviantArt. I'm done running. I'm not going to let Ouija bully me and my friends. He's already chased off 3 of them today and is looking to do more. I can't let that happen. I don't care. Ouija."
And although Solid Mario promised to stay this time, his posts on the account were last seen on October 5th, 2017, and he actually tried to come back under another account named Crimson Tuba, but this one also got deactivated within 4 days. After this deactivation, he went back to focus on his YouTube channel, where he makes vlogs to this day. Despite his controversial past, Solid Mario is comfortable on YouTube these days, because he made sure no one would be able to put his face on a video, as every callout video that did in the past was taken down actually. And it appears he's finally forgotten about DeviantArt, unlike this next user who created over 100 accounts just to remain
He's still active. He's definitely like mid-30s by now. I 100% feel like he's in mid-30s.
on the platform.
One of the most hated users in DeviantArt history. One user even referred to him as a cyber terrorist.
In January of
Ori the Wolfie.
2017, a YouTube channel called Deviant Cringe with over 100,000 subscribers, known for making commentary on weird art in the DeviantArt community, suddenly got hacked and deleted. This came as a shock to both fans and Deviant Cringe himself, who took the news to DeviantArt to share with his followers. But then a user named 23Everal commented saying,
"I wonder who hacked you."
and before he could get a response, other users started accusing him of hacking Deviant Cringe's account, believing it was revenge against Deviant Cringe for mocking other people's art on his channel. But soon another user named Shikes5 turned the tides by commenting,
"I did, LOL."
and immediately followed it up up with
I have morals.
And moments later, a user who knew Sheikh's real identity confronted him for also hacking the YouTube channel of another user named the Pirate Koveman, and Sheikhs didn't deny it. Instead, he doubled down by saying,
I ruined cyberbullies' lives. It's fun.
and DeviantCringe actually did some research about the loss of his channel and soon realized that Sheikhs was indeed behind the incident and wasn't afraid to boast about it. However, immediately after making the confession, Sheikhs deleted his DeviantArt account, and with his YouTube channel gone, DeviantCringe created a new one called Cyber Rampage and made a video with his girlfriend Baby Blue Bones about the situation. In the video, Baby Blue Bones mentioned that before Sheikhs deleted his account on DeviantArt, he said 3 things about the hack.
1. I hacked DeviantCringe. 2. I didn't hack DeviantCringe. I just wanted to test his fan base. I am just an attention. And 3, I believe that he was talking about how DeviantCringe deserved it.
Sheikhs hacking his channel felt more like a betrayal because he once actually made a video to defend him. For context, in December 2016, DeviantCringe received a private message from a DeviantArt user named Emily Draws, who sent him a warning about another user named Leo the Wolfie, which turned out to be one of Sheikh's accounts. And for clarity, Sheikhs will now be referred to as Leo for the rest of the video.
So yeah, I'm having a problem. Could you please send it to as many people as possible? It doesn't matter who it is or what, but send it to everyone to warn them about this guy, and also report. If you could make a journal, then I would be happy, since people will ban him, but he also makes accounts to prevent bans, so let everyone notice this. He's also an annoying boy. He's that annoying that he needs to be banned. He's posting pictures that are offensive and downright disgusting, harassing other users on DeviantArt, bullying a bunch of Christians, and he's always coming back to go on where he started. And the worst thing is that this account that he has now is probably his 100th or something. Please ban this guy because he's an
These people have no lives, bro. I could never. Constantly making accounts and just talking shit online. Y'all gotta touch grass, brother. This is unemployed final boss, bro.
to some people. I told him to stop, but he goes on and on.
She then ended the message by revealing Leo the Wolfie's personal information, including his name, address, age, and even his phone number.
Oh, we got doxxed. Oh, Leo, what are you gonna do?
DeviantCringe then posted the text on Twitter with the caption,
You won't believe what happened. Some R-word literally messaged me on DeviantArt, wanting me to spread someone's docs. You gotta be kidding me.
DeviantCringe claimed that he saw Emily's move as pure dogs, ignoring everything else she said about Leo, and he and his girlfriend then went ahead to make a video criticizing Emily and calling her out for putting Leo's safety at risk. Unfortunately, that video has been completely wiped off the internet, along with his channel, but that would change in 2017, when one of Baby Blue Bone's friends, Mimi, reached out to her to reveal that Leo the Wolfie had been stalking and harassing her online. And that was the moment Baby Blue Bones and DeviantCringe realized they attacked the wrong person. Baby Blue Bones had mentioned that she got on a hangout chat with Leo, asking him to stop harassing Mimi. But instead of complying, Leo simply told Baby Blue Bones that Mimi deserves to leave this world. It turns out Leo wasn't really easy to deal with, and this wasn't the first time he would harass other users. DeviantArt would also make a reference to a 2016 case, where a user called the Fandom Menace started a petition on DeviantArt for weird interest-related contents to be removed from the general feed to the mature category. And because Leo posted this kind of content, he wasn't very happy about the petition, so he actually harassed the Fandom Menace until the petition was taken down completely. And then in 2017, Leo hacked DeviantCringe's YouTube account, his Twitter, and his DeviantArt account unprovoked. And after DeviantCringe found out it was Leo who hacked his account, he researched the name Leo the Wolfie and found another account named Tori the Wolfie, which is connected to the same user. And more digging revealed that Leo had a bunch of accounts with which he harassed other people. Among these accounts was one named Sumcut, which had actually been called out many years ago by a user named Mario Lightfire.
Y'all remember this person acting like he's some gangster? Yeah, he's violent to smaller humans. Not to mention, I'm waiting for him to reactivate his account and start spamming again. Right now, I think that he deactivated his account just to avoid getting banned.
Mario added a screenshot that shows Leo spamming him with threats on DeviantArt and ended the post by saying,
Hey Sumcut, if you think the N-word is racist, then why do you say it, Tori? Real nice that he used a voice modulator pathetically and being racist and assuming everyone's race and gender. I know this was a year ago. If he comes back, get ready.
And it's not clear what really happened between them, as this was the only available screenshot concerning the situation. However, the post confirmed the harassment allegations from other users. And so in May of 2017, another DeviantArt user named CJ Fairfield posted a screenshot of Leo admitting to sending threats to people on one of his other accounts, saying,
Remember, I can blame you for a self-attack and you will go to jail for cyberbullying. Getting my ED article removed took 500 threats to life, threats to be intimately violent, and threats of family harm.
CJ then captioned it,
Wow, good job revealing what you did to ED by forcing your actions to get that ED page off. You're actually the cyber criminal, Brandon. We need to do something about Tori the Wolfie.
For context, ED means Encyclopedia Dramatica, a satirical parody of Wikipedia, where internet culture, online memes, and internet drama are documented. Apparently,
I never heard about this website.
Leo had an ED article that exposes bad deeds, and so he threatened the poster to remove it. A lot of DeviantArt members in CJ's comment section also attested to Leo being guilty of everything he was being accused of and agreed that he needed to be kicked off the platform. And after the drama went silent, Leo actually disappeared from DeviantArt, as confirmed by a part of this now
Is this him?
deleted ED article.
To be honest, I was going to wait for a week until I posted this final update, but my friend gave me the go ahead, and I did make a promise to y'all. But as of today, Tori the Wolfie, or Brandon, is officially gone from DeviantArt.
However, according to Wikitubia, on September 13, 2018, Leo the Wolfie came back and threatened Deviant Cringe again, and he did this a few times before apparently going to jail in 2019, and it's really not clear why or when he was arrested. But while Leo's legal drama remains a mystery, it's not as disturbing as this next case, which involves a person with possible severe mental disorders.
It is me, Alessandro, at 44 years old on the 15th of January 2021, after being spanked by mum for 48
What the hell?
hours.
In 2023, a YouTuber known as the Internet Investigator, who makes videos about internet mysteries and disturbing content, got a concerning
Oh yeah? Another one? Okay, we gotta watch his videos now.
comment from one of her followers saying,
Can you look into DeviantArt account Magazine 7? I just stumbled upon the account today, and it's two adults posting graphic descriptions and images of how they maltreat their 40-year-old son living with them. I reported a few of their worst pictures, so you might need to look into it before they get removed or deleted by DeviantArt staff.
and out of concern, the Internet Investigator looked up the Magazine 7 profile on DeviantArt, and what she found was all shades of disturbing. The earliest image on the profile was a selfie uploaded on September 27, 2020 by a man who later revealed his name to be Alessandro and his age being 44. This followed by more selfies and abstract art, with captions that were both confusing and disturbing at the same time. However, on September 29, 2020, this account would post an unsettling picture that took everything to a whole new level. It was a full body mirror selfie of Alessandro without his underwear or clothing, which has now been deleted. On his stomach were bruises that Alessandro explained in the caption, later described by the Internet Investigator.
During these last months, my height in my stomach/chest did grow very much. My mummy daily strikes me by causing bruises on my tummy, my legs, my chest, etc.
Unfortunately, this particular post is too disturbing to be even shown in the video. However, on September 29, 2020, Alessandro posted another image that shows him and a woman that looks like she's in her 60s titled,
It's me in the hands of mommy and daddy.
in the caption, Alessandro wrote,
Mommy restored the bedtime for me after 18 years, in which I was free to go to bed whenever. I'm a very tall and very chubby grown man from Italy, Milan City. I like a lot of topics in my existence, but my parents increasingly tightened them.
And just like the commentator who brought attention to this account, other DeviantArt members were concerned about Alessandro, as it seemed like his parents might be maltreating him. However, in May 2020, the Magazine 7 account took a more serious turn, when Alessandro's mother seemingly took over and posted,
Good afternoon, I'm Christina, Alessandro's mom. This morning my 46-year-old son has suffered a lot of beatings on his skin because I'm not fulfilled by his artistic message, where he offers his artworks for ethical/democratic goals. He could explain much better. Now I stopped smacking him because of lunchtime. Alessandro does need a girlfriend. He still hates love topic. On the contrary, he needs to be improved, perfected by us, who are his senior parents.
She also posted a now deleted throwback picture of Alessandro and detailed more torture inflicted on him.
You're welcome. It is me, Christina, and my son Alessandro in 2017. When his age was 41, I spanked him very little at the time. The serious daily and very long punishments due to tiny mistakes of my son began at the end of 2020. But since January 2022, we senior parents changed fully our educative system. Our guy Alessandro has improved very much during the summer, then crisis and autumn. But from December 2020, our big boy situation is improving very much. He's becoming increasingly insensitive, cold, sneaky, false, smiling. We parents see our Alessandro who begins to smile in a cunning way. That light smile that means the great empowerment of his soul, thanks to our daily long punishments directly on his naked skin. We senior parents have also improved our health condition. My son has become so smooth, tender, sweet, fluffy. In the last month of December, that for us senior parents is much better than a medicine, punishing a son like ours. We relax and improve our health by tormenting his skin and scolding him hardly for very light reasons. We've improved our 46-year-old guy by daily humiliating him for many hours, because of his very light tiny mistakes. Our punishment have just begun since January 2022. Maria Christina, artist Alessandro, senior mom.
And soon after that post, Alessandro's dad also posted on the account saying,
It is my artist son Alessandro. During bedtime at 9 p.m. in May 2022, we compel our son Alessandro to go to bed after having his dinner at 7 p.m. and showering him at 8 p.m. Tonight we authorize him to stay awake so that he can upload his contemporary art on DeviantArt. Our big boy is 46 years old young. Comment on my son's art if you like. Good night.
The following day, Christina revealed more details about the maltreatment, and this time she went as far as saying Alessandro was in a mental ward in an Italian hospital after he stole his father's car and drove it for hours. She also mentioned he was giving a strong sedative, which is different from their type of sedative that includes elements of torture. This was then followed by a couple of incoherent sentences that looked like they were written by someone not in the right state of mind. For context, a part of it says,
If a 20-year-old boy suffers a non-severe problem, a lot of people as teachers, parents, friends, doctors, online friends seriously wish to support, comfort, cuddle him. Support what? If it was not a humiliating huge disaster made of fully inequalities, that would be almost ridiculous too. Differently, the death of 90-year-old senior woman is a problem for nobody, or almost nobody. The age of people was a little important topic till 1999. Since 2000, the age of a boy and the comparison between his birthday age and his true age has become the question most important of almost all.
What is this? What are they talking about, bro? I'm so confused.
While the long post sounds bizarre, the idea behind it was how society only cares for a specific demographic of men, ignoring everyone else. And this raised the possibility that Alessandro does not feel love, and he blames his age for it. And to make the situation even more complicated, his father posted a picture of an adult holding the hand of a kid and captioned it,
My 46-year-old grown Alice is cuddling, encouraging, loving his mother Christina with his small hands that are still growing after being showered by her earlier than his evening bedtime. We have no problem in rearing, improving, beating our guy for tiny mistakes, thanks to some part of his body, like his hands for example, that are still very small.
At this
What the heck is he like? I don't even know what the right word to say. Is he like those little people who like don't grow, but they age?
point, the whole personality of this account got muddled up.
But he doesn't even look like that from the pictures.
But things would get even more complicated after another post surfaced talking about how the 46-year-old Alessandro was hit by puberty acne, a condition that is usually associated with teenagers. His mom wrote about how they're trying to block and suppress puberty, leaving other users even more confused, considering Alessandro's age. Digging more into the Magazine 7 account reveals Alessandro has only posted a picture of his mom, but had never posted one of his dad. And there was also another picture where he could be seen playing with a doll. And while most users just concluded that Alessandro was probably suffering from a mental illness, others were genuinely concerned that he may actually be getting maltreated for real, especially because of other disturbing posts on his account. For example, the page also had a picture of legs with exaggerated green veins that were said to be a result of spanking. This picture and others like it were later reported, leading to the account getting terminated in 2023, and the story would have ended with the deletion of the account. But recently, Alessandro has reappeared on DeviantArt with an entirely different username, Galleria Ro Fiera. The profile picture is Alessandro's selfie, and the profile page is nothing different from the Magazine 7 account. Alessandro still posts bizarre art and selfies of himself, but this time he posts more pictures of legs with captions like,
It is 4:40 in the night. I'm his father. My wife is Maria Cristina Cebancho. 65-year-old is soaping the legs of our young boy Alessandro without washing his skin with water, so the soap will be absorbed by his leg's flesh. This is the kind of cuddles and punishment decided by us parents tonight. A lot of soap on our boy Alessandro's skin is so relaxing and calm. It will render him increasingly calm, sweet, insensitive, and obedient. His father, Giorgio.
Now, most of his posts didn't get a lot of attention from DeviantArt users, except this picture of his mom and a picture of someone else's legs, which he captioned,
On 2025, August 28, my son Alessandro, 46-year-old, was undergone to spanking birthday. His naked legs, as anyone can look at, were harshly spanked for 3 hours during a car travel drive by my husband Giorgio. I'm his mommy, Maria Cristina Cebancho, 65 years old, August 2025, Venice town.
In the comment section, some argued with Christina that those legs don't belong to a 46-year-old man, but
Yeah, I was about to say that's literally a child.
she insisted that these legs belong to Alessandro because she and his father have been spanking him. Now, in the internet investigators' words, it seems like Alessandro is only writing out his fantasies, and none of these characters truly exist. Or maybe they do exist, but they're not actually aware that somebody's posting them on DeviantArt. And while this is a very disturbing story, what comes next is even more troubling, since it involves a real-time stalker.
At the peak of her career, she would experience one of the greatest downfalls in YouTube history.
In the age of cancel culture, one wrong move or perhaps one viral call-out video from a trusted source can end a long-standing
Hey, why gotta do my man's Kanye like this? Okay, I know he's been very bad. But why gotta do my man's like that?
career. And one of these trusted sources was Creepshow Art, a YouTuber with over 500,000 subscribers, known for his storytime series and commentary videos about internet drama and DeviantArt community controversies. This YouTuber, whose real name is Shannon Campbell, started posting content back in 2016 by drawing and telling stories simultaneously. Initially, she told stories about herself and her own personal struggles, but soon actually switched to a different type of content after she called out an animator named Chris Talley for taking advantage of smaller humans in 2019. And months later, Chris Talley would actually be arrested, and Shannon would earn widespread praise and a large following for using her influence to seek justice. Now, because of this, she decided to stick to making similar videos.
And I got a notification that Shane Dawson tweeted something. It was a retweet of Tana Mojo's latest stupid decision,
which her audience enjoyed. However, around April of 2020, Shannon's positive image would start to fade after she got wrapped up in a drama involving another YouTuber named Jake He Once, who posts drag race content. He was accused of being intimately violent towards other people, engaging in bestiality, and soliciting images from smaller humans. The gross messages Jake sent to a younger person also got leaked, and many others came out to say horrible things about it. But even with all of this evidence, Shannon decided to make a video in support of Jake He Once, which of
Uh-oh, that's a bad mistake.
course brought a lot of negative attention to her channel, but still Shannon didn't budge. The attention only fueled her to make more commentary videos. Her next target was Jason Hill, a famous beauty influencer who currently has over
5 million? Wait, that's like right now?
5 million subscribers. Shannon accused Jason of being a fraud and a liar because she got a lot of negative reviews on a particular product that allegedly contained metal shards, which are small, sharp pieces of metal that have broken off from a large object. This video garnered a lot of attention too because of how famous Jason was and the level of aggression Shannon expressed while addressing the situation. But while many treated it as one of Shannon's commentary videos, a particular YouTuber named Toby believed Shannon crossed the line and decided to point out her flaws in a video titled The Faults of Creep Show Art. In the video, Toby mentioned how Shannon went too far by dragging Jason Hill's father into the drama, alleging that he formed a cult under the guise of being an evangelist.
This man is the man who put his hoo-ha into someone else to make Jacqueline. So I guess we know where she learned how to boldface lie online.
Toby also spoke about how another YouTuber, whose name she didn't reveal, tried to reach out to Shannon about how she went too far in the Jason Hill video. Allegedly, Shannon did not admit that she was wrong, but instead yelled at the YouTuber. Unknown to Toby, this information would eventually lead to a major drama in the DeviantArt community. It began in 2019 when an artist known as Hopeless Peaches was inspired by Shannon's craft and decided to create similar content on YouTube. Somehow her videos reached Shannon, who was very happy to see that she actually inspired someone, and she then proceeded to give a shout out to Peaches in one of her videos. And from there, they became good friends. Everything went well until December of 2020 when Shannon decided to drop a tweet hinting at a fallout between herself and another creator.
Before I hit 100k, I was friends with another creator. This creator later spread lies about me, told people I was psychotic and I screamed at her, and basically poisoned potential friendships with other people in the art community.
And while most fans were trying to figure out who she was talking about, Shannon dropped another tweet and directly name dropped the creator.
This tweet was about Hopeless Peaches, finding out that she told multiple creators who she knew I admired that I screamed at her and attacked her when I viewed her as a little sister.
Bro, this is literally VTuber drama before VTubers existed, bro. I've heard this so much, bro. The problem with always the girls who have all the drama. Always them, bro. They become friends, and then like a few years down the line, Google Doc drops on the Twitter, and then it's like she did this and this and this, and the other person's like, no, I didn't. And then it's just like canceled. One person just gets wiped off the internet, and then it just repeats. And then it's like another girl comes out, and she's like, oh, this girl did this and this and this. Google Doc drops. And it's like every year, every month, is something new with these VTubers. I'm just annoyed. Just watching this, it just makes me annoyed because this is what's happening right now, but with VTubers.
Sucked.
Initially, Peaches responded to this tweet asking Shannon to show evidence of her allegations, but she simply didn't get a response, so she went silent for a while. This silence led to the harassment from Peaches' fans, forcing her to make a tweet saying,
I keep having people comment on my channel how I should address a video lumping me in with quite serious allegations of racism and being friends with the YouTuber I quite frankly dislike. Honestly, I don't think this will help me get better, as this month is gonna be rough.
But even after the tweet, the hateful comments wouldn't stop, forcing Peaches to make a very shocking announcement on Twitter.
I think I'm just done. Goodbye.
To make the situation worse, another YouTuber in the community and a friend of Shannon, known as Prison Mate Luke, also made a video about Peaches, calling her a manipulator and a liar, majorly because of what Shannon, Toby, and two other creators, Omnia and Kai, said about her. He then referenced Peaches' tweet where she said goodbye as being manipulative, insinuating Peaches only tweeted that to get sympathy from her fans after she was harassed in the comments. After Luke's video, Peaches' channel would start to bleed subscribers, which made her tweet a lengthy apology post admitting she was wrong, although she only addressed it to Omnia and Kai. Shannon also made a video about the situation, claiming that the issue actually started off after she made the Jason Hill video, and Peaches subtweeted, insinuating that she was a bully for talking about Jason the way she did.
I won't lie, I have been quite disappointed by a few people I looked up to a lot online lately, and now I physically feel kinda sick. May take a break from social media for a while. It's like a broken heart right now.
Peaches followed up that post with more tweets saying that she muted some people for the sake of her mental health, and would also like to create something entirely different from Shannon's content, as a lot of people constantly refer to her as Creep Show Art's clone. In Shannon's video, she then referenced Toby's video, where she accused Shannon of screaming at a content creator who tried to talk about the Jason situation, and Shannon claimed that she knew the creator in question was Peaches. Later in a tweet, she also expressed her displeasure about Peaches trying to change her content style, even though she helped Peaches when she just started creating content. And after all of that happened, Peaches simply responded to Shannon via a text message to resolve the issue, saying,
I can understand you're upset with us not talking anymore, but you also painted me as kind of a bad person, saying I was ranting and raving about you and how I was spreading private information about you to manipulate content creators.
Among other issues, she also addressed the Toby situation.
I've not been spreading private information about you, nor have I been bad-mouthing you to other creators. Toby became a close friend, and she had her own grievances. I rejected going in a video against you, and I rejected giving any DMs for her to go and use. I also kept asking her if she wants to do it, to be nice, because as I said, I sing your praises too.
Peaches admitted that she blocked Shannon for a while, but denied that her style change had something to do with their fallout. Toby also made a post later to clarify that Peaches was not involved with the video she made regarding Shannon, but also revealing that she'd clarified that to Shannon in her DM. But at that time, it was already too late, because several YouTubers had already made videos hitting Peaches with several allegations, and so Peaches faced severe online harassment, so much so that she went silent for a while before coming back online in 2021 to make a response video about the situation. In this video, Peaches addressed Luke's claim point by point, explaining the misinterpretation around her goodbye tweet, and also debunked Shannon's claims. Hearing Peaches' side of the story changed everything, as creators and fans who turned against her started to take her side. One of them was Gritus, Shannon's former friend who once wrote a document against Peaches. He later made a video titled "You Are Wrong About Hopeless Peaches" to clear her name. In the description box, Gritus also attached a document that details evidence that shows Peaches wasn't as bad as she was painted, and in the conclusion he wrote,
"This drama was built on a terrible foundation by Luke, and it seems it was decided that Peaches was a completely vile person and took every single thing said about her at face value, with Luke's dishonest claims being backed up by Shannon and Camilla. Peaches was ruled 100% in the wrong, with no further digging into the situation or nuance, and we do feel that this is completely unfair. Peaches has her flaws, but we do believe that she's not the terrible person she's been painted as, especially when many people said about her are provably untrue or backed by weak evidence."
But with everything going on, Shannon simply doubled down, claiming that she was right about Peaches regardless. And although more people showed support for Peaches now, her channel would simply not recover from the damage Shannon and other creators' allegations have done. And so eventually she deleted her account and disappeared from the internet. And with Peaches gone, Shannon resumed her usual content without getting involved in any drama until June 2021, when the tables turned and Shannon became the subject of a serious scandal. Around the time,
Oh my god. I'm going mentally insane listening to that. I literally want to skip this story so badly.
rumors began circulating about Shannon being a member of the internet gossip forum lolcow.farm. For context, lolcow is an online forum where anonymous users discuss, mock, and gossip about online creators, influencers, artists, and communities. Online personalities aren't expected to be a member of anonymous gossip websites, because engaging in one paints them often as manipulative or insecure about criticism. But Shannon did not only join lolcow, she actually broke the site's rules by advertising and defending herself, among other things. And once the forum's admin found out, he decided to revoke Shannon's anonymity and obtained all of her posts through her IP address. And to escalate the situation even further, the admin posted a link that exposed Shannon's conversations on the website, revealing how she spoke negatively about other creators who were considered her friends. In one of her posts, she wrote about D'Angelo Wallace, a creator who was a friend, saying,
Oh, I see. I swear I saw her videos before. That name sounds so familiar.
D'Angelo is the type of guy that everyone pretends to like, but no one really does. He tried to get in touch with a lot of them, and because he talked about drama and made Holly look like a tool, they befriended him for safety. I think Holly sucks, but before the hot video came out, no one in the community said anything. Then she decided to rebrand and delete, and is pretty much at zero still. They're all scared of them.
D'Angelo then saw the post and took to Twitter to say,
"Whoever posts my tweets on lolcow, hurry up, I'm bored. I want to see the response."
and to that, Shannon responded on lolcow again, inserting her name this time.
He's worse than Creepshow. At least she had the ability to grow and is doing something completely different than what she started with. He's doing the same thing on repeat, acting like he's doing something big, and now admits to creeping on lolcow.
And even before she was fully exposed on lolcow, users had long suspected Shannon was a member, because she made videos about topics discussed on lolcow. Some members called her out, but she never admitted that she was on the forum, and instead of addressing the issue, she simply stopped posting anything related to lolcow dramas. And while that was going on, Shannon anonymously made a whole argument about herself, saying,
"Like I said, she's spastic. She can't even stay on topic for like a minute and is constantly talking around. It's annoying. She does love drama though. Like she thinks it's funny when people go wrong, but she loses interest in like 10 minutes. She's actually a disaster. I don't know how she's successful, because she puts out horrible content in 2 hours and barely edits them."
But these weren't the only posts Shannon made. In total, she made 292 posts within 3 years of being a member of the forum. But
This is high school drama, bro. This is literally high school drama that I did not sign up for, and that I do not care. I wanted disturbing content. This is high school drama, bro. This is not disturbing horrors from DeviantArt. This is freaking high school drama from DeviantArt. The last two was messed up. That freaking that person, that Italian dude, that's literally disturbing and creepy. This is just high school drama by grown-ass adults.
none of them caused as much stir as the one where she dogs her sister after claiming she treated her badly.
I didn't save it, but the gist was that Shannon's sister is in the hospital for something. We don't know what, and she put her as her emergency contact. However, when Shannon reached out to her to try to figure out what was going on, her sister blocked her and said that she was invading her privacy. She also said something along the lines that her family was neglecting her, even though Shannon had reached out. It's really weird. A couple of years ago, I found her sister's Twitter because she talked about it in a story time, and she's definitely insane.
But before that post was a Reddit post that Shannon has made about her sister, saying,
"My sister, without a doubt, she's incredibly selfish and entitled, and doesn't like like when there are consequences to her actions at all. When we were younger, she was a good kid because she was super smart and knew how to do well in school. She also ran track and cross country and was really successful in things that she would do. So our parents never really got mad at her, even when they probably should have, which is why I'm tough as nails. And she freaks out when there are consequences to her actions. She's a lesbian and I'm bi, and when I was growing up, told me I wasn't gay enough to be in the LGBT and that I was hetero passing. So essentially I didn't have a right to complain about anything. She would also try to get me to date my platonic straight friends, to the point where it made them uncomfortable because she was literally forcing something on them they didn't want. She also messed with my body image, telling me I had no chest or and was shaped like an ant when I was growing up, which contributed to my ED.
Now, every leaked post would increasingly put Shannon in a bad light, but the expose wouldn't get much attention on lolcal until June 4, 2021, when it became a full-blown issue after it got posted on Twitter. And the next day, Shannon responded with a tweet saying her device got hacked. Most people didn't seem to believe her, so the next day, she dropped a long post denying the accusations and claiming that she'd been framed by her longtime stalker named Amy. She claimed that Amy spoofed her IP address to hurt her, but eventually they reconciled and became friends. And she then ended the post on a note that would soon be relevant, saying,
"She's gone back to doing what she's always done, which is trying to hurt me, to try to turn the people in my life against me and salivate at the idea of me losing everything. She did this for years, even when I didn't have anything, to the point where when I was dating my husband, she sent him text messages telling him I was a terrible person and he should leave me. She made fake Facebook accounts to tell people about what a terrible person I was, and she just spent years messing with me."
but her denial
I literally just remembered why this is called the stalker. Because he brought it up now after all that filler. He just brought up the stalker now.
was debunked by lolcal's admins, who responded with a statement that read,
"Her explanation only proves that she can't deny our legitimacy. The implication that nearly 300 posts over the span of 2.5 years all came from one single spoofed IP is ridiculous. Shannon hasn't pointed out which singular IP she's confirming as her post history, because she's too stupid to realize that she just implicitly confirmed her entire post history. At the same time, she expects us to believe that one IP was spoofed to frame her. Is she going to claim that all the other IPs in her post history as spoofed too? She knows she messed up, otherwise her defense wouldn't be, it was my device information and my IP, but somehow I was framed."
And after this post, most people stopped trusting Shannon, which led to a rapid decline in her YouTube subscribers. And she then went on Instagram to say that she was taking legal steps and would love to stay silent until she proved her innocence. But what Shannon didn't know was that a single tweet would soon take her controversy from 0 to 100. On June 8, 2021, another creator, Emily Artful, would drop a tweet that says,
"I am currently shaking and crying because Creepshow Art is finally being exposed for the absolute terrible person she is. I have known Shannon for many years, even years before she started her YouTube channel. She's copied, stalked, harassed, and threatened me and my life. She's used revenge explicit videos against me, tried to use my substance addiction against me. She's literally gotten me fired from multiple jobs, causing me to be homeless. This person has pushed me to the brink of leaving this earth multiple times, and then tried to blame it on a mutual friend when I finally caught her red-handed by tracing her IP. Shannon, you are Amy. All the things you claim Amy did to you are the things you did to me. Receipts to come. I've got years worth of them."
And this made people dig up Shannon's post on lolcal all over again. And indeed, they found a 2019 post where she was talking about Emily being a cam girl and how she struggles with addiction. On June 12, 2021, Emily, who was promised to provide evidence, would release a 2-hour-long video titled "Creepshow Art Has Always Been This Way." In the video, she detailed about how she met her ex-boyfriend, Anthony Parker, who's now Shannon's husband, in music school back in 2010. She mentioned how Anthony had anger issues and would get mad over the most trivial things. She also cited an example where he was so angry that he wouldn't talk to her all day because she left a flirtatious comment on a gay friend's selfie. And to resolve the issue, Emily drove down to Anthony's workplace, where she met Shannon, who was his co-worker at the time. Shannon informed her that Anthony hadn't come to work that day, and Emily then tried to reach Anthony, but every effort proved futile, which made her believe that the relationship was over. And so Emily moved on with her life. But in 2013, Anthony would pop up again, proposing they rekindle what's left of their spark. But according to Emily, she realized Anthony had not changed his old ways, so she decided to limit the relationship to just a friendship. Still, Anthony kept in touch with Emily because she actually helped him out with his band. Now, one day he sent Emily a demo of a song he was working on, and the track had female vocals on. And upon listening to the song, Emily discovered that the voice actually belonged to Shannon. And out of jealousy, Emily told Anthony that the voice was too weak, so it wouldn't sound good on the track. And with Anthony's consent, Emily recorded new vocals for the final version, an action believed to have kickstarted Shannon's hatred for Emily. Shortly after, Emily started to receive strange Facebook requests, which contained malicious links, and not knowing better, she clicked on them, leading to her Facebook account getting hacked. And the so-called hackers were able to download explicit images of Emily, including pictures of her as a smaller human, which were then used to harass her online. Some of these pictures were sent to the company, where she worked as a receptionist, which got her fired. Hackers also left negative reviews on her makeup site, which was her site, costing her the loss of many clients. And with nothing left to do, Emily actually became homeless and had to travel out of town to get another job. And there, Emily started piecing her life together by starting a YouTube channel where she posted art and told stories. And soon, one of her videos titled "You're Not an Artist" gained over 200,000 views and boosted her subscriber count. But while she was celebrating her win silently, Anthony created a new Twitter account to harass her, saying,
Buying 100k views for $100 isn't viral, just FYI.
and not long after that brief exchange between them, Emily would start to get comments under her post about a Twitter channel named Creepshow Art, using her art and the name of her series to make videos. At the time, Emily didn't know who was behind the channel, so she messaged the owner to talk to her about changing her series name at least. And Shannon simply responded that she didn't mean any harm and mentioned that other creators also used the name, just like fashion YouTubers use Get Ready With Me. From there, the two became associates. But still, Emily didn't know Creepshow Art's real identity. But one day, Shannon actually blew her cover by posting Anthony's art on Instagram, and Emily, becoming suspicious, decided to find out who was behind the Creepshow Art's YouTube channel. And soon enough, she actually found out that it was Shannon Campbell, her ex's co-worker, who was now married to him. Emily then decided to make a video about the issue of the same name series, without mentioning Shannon's name or her brand. And this video actually earned Emily a lot of hate comments. But in response, Shannon would send her a DM, appreciating Emily for keeping her anonymous and apologizing for the relentless fans who kept dropping hateful comments on her video. But Emily, who now knew that it was Shannon and Anthony behind this, traced the IP addresses of the fake accounts harassing her to where the couple lived, and decided to confront them, saying,
Are you the one that's been stalking me? Or is it Anthony? You can be candid now, because I know it's one of you.
She ended the long message with a plea for peace, saying,
All I asked is to be left alone by you and your boyfriend. It's been 8 years.
Shannon simply denied the allegation, and they moved on from the issue. However, 4 months later, she made a video about the so-called Amy, who she claimed had been stalking her for 8 years, although she couldn't show any evidence proving that Amy actually existed. And even though Emily now knew that it was Shannon and Anthony stalking her online, she simply couldn't do anything about it until Shannon got exposed in 2021. 2 days after Emily exposed Shannon on Twitter, an account named Britta Filter would DM her, claiming to have identified her stalker. However, the anonymous
Yo, how many people are in this story? This is literally... Is this whole video this one person?
user would also
Is this whole we're 33 minutes in, bro. Is the next 20 minutes still the story? Like, this is some insane world building off one story, bro. This is like freaking like One Piece level of characters getting introduced, bro. Like, every minute there's a new character.
threatened Emily not to release a video about Shannon, but Emily released the video anyway, and it gained over 4 million views within a very short amount of time. And this opened the floodgates of testimonies against Shannon, with a lot of people sharing their personal experiences with her. And one of the most significant was Loki Coulter, who claimed she attended college with Shannon back in 2011. She shared a lot about her relationship with Shannon, but the part that really stood out was where she wrote,
Shannon began to cyberstalk Emily, first starting by finding her YouTube page. She shared videos with me, and I naively thought that was harmless, and it would go no further. But Shannon started to look for her home address, her phone number, or any other info she could find. Shannon told me how she had plans to harass Emily, either by sending her letters or prank calling her home, how she planned to leave hate messages on her videos or DM her from burner accounts to spread hate. And this is when I began to distance myself from Shannon.
and under the post, a user made a comment expressing concern for Shannon's sister, saying,
Has anyone bothered to reach out to the sister of Creepshow Art and let them know they've been doxxed?
Now surprisingly, Shannon's sister replied to the comment and also testified that Shannon had indeed been stalking and harassing Emily over the years. Now Shannon would in turn get harassed online for the whole year, as friends and fans turned against her to support Emily, and one of her friends, Repzilla, made a 32-minute video about the situation, entitled it, Creepshow Art Lied to My Face.
Literally 30 seconds, a minute in, and we got 2 new people.
In the video, he talked about how he confronted Shannon and how she chose to lie to him instead of telling the truth. And 1 year later, she made an expose video titled The Lies of Emily, Artful, with evidence. In this video, Shannon would read out a 90-page document she prepared, detailing Emily's past life and mistakes from as far back as when she was in middle school. Shannon focused on Emily's drug addiction and the time she was an online performer as a smaller human. Apparently, Shannon had little or nothing to say to debunk Emily's claims though, which is why she focused on Emily's past instead. She also dedicated 3 pages of the document to claim that Amy was in fact a real person and had no connection to Emily. At the start of the document, she wrote,
If you're seeing this video, it means one of 2 things has happened. Either my lawyers negotiated with Emily Artful's lawyers and we reached a private settlement which resulted in some retraction, or I took Emily to court for defamation and came out on the other side.
And on February 9th, 2022, Emily uploaded her final response titled I'm Done Shannon, where she addressed the legal aspect of Shannon's document among other issues.
Neither of these things have happened. It's a flat out lie. I have no idea why she chose to leave this in, but I'm kind of glad she did.
Once again, Shannon's lie was debunked, and every comeback she tried to make proved unsuccessful, and after Emily's video, there was silence from both sides. Eventually, on August 13, 2023, Shannon's YouTube channel was deleted at approximately 289,000 subscribers. And while the DeviantArt community finally sent a stalker off to space, this next member was sent to a place of no return.
Finally, it's over.
The most disgusting creatures to ever exist.
DeviantArt may be
The Tennessee Devil.
famous for its cringe and chaotic creativity, but no one expected the community to house a predator hiding behind the mask of an art lover. Yet that's exactly what
This is what I wanted to see. Not years of... Can y'all just draw... Like, I don't even understand how this freaking drama happens. Like, yo, if I was sick at drawing, yeah, I would draw. I would draw and I would put it online and be like, look, I drew Link from The Legend of Zelda. I drew Pikachu from Pokemon. I would just want to show it. But these people just be hating and just starting beefing with everyone, and then everyone wants to jump in on the beef and give their 2 cents, and then it's just like a big years of drama for no reason over like one small thing. It's like a whole world war in an art community website. And it's like, did you really need to do all that? Look, man, are dropping 2-hour documentaries on the person. And it's like, this person did this 90-page Google Doc. I know everything about them. They're evil. It's like, bro, just stay in your lane and draw. Okay? Don't beef with anyone. Do you. And that's it, bro. Just stay in your lane. Jeez.
People encountered with far too many younger humans paying the price. It all started on November 6, 2015, when a DeviantArt user named Zhengzhou Jishu posted a journal titled Manglen, Serious Offender, Please Read. The first few paragraphs of the journal details how Zheng and some deviants were labeled as offender defenders because they spoke up against Mardik Sandro, a self-acclaimed offender hunter who himself was caught engaging in a very weird interest. And the more people spoke against Mardik, the longer the list of offenders defenders got. To fight off Mardik, the users on the list came together to create a group on DeviantArt where they talked about chasing him off the platform. And soon Mardik went silent, and so did the group. But one day, out of boredom, one of the users on the group named Disappoint Ghastly decided to scroll the list to check out everyone's profile. And while she expected to only get familiar with other users and their arts, what she found would eventually set a new course for the group. Ghastly found an account named Manglen, which looked normal at first, but things would start to look very weird once you started checking out Manglen's gallery, which contained a stamp that said, I love pink panties. And to worsen the situation, 2 of his favorite stamps read, Female smaller humans, X monsters, and Make awkward explicit advances, not war. These stamps were weird, but none were as weird as Manglen's picture, which shows he was an adult who was probably in his 50s. And upon seeing
this guy was the thumbnail.
this, Ghastly alerted the other group members, who immediately started to research about Manglen. And surprisingly, some of the users claimed to have had encounters with Manglen in the past. One of them was wildest, which had a screenshot of her past conversation with them, but asked that it would not be publicized. According to Zheng, the author of the journal, the screenshot contains really disturbing details. Most importantly, the fact that Manglen was 59 and wildest was a smaller human. Another user, Shattered Glass, also known as Jessica, came forward with screenshot evidence where Manglen could be seen telling her how pretty she looked and overall being inappropriate with her. And while Jessica didn't have any issue with compliments, she was soon weirded out when she found out about Manglen's age.
Wait, you're 59 years old? Yes, how old are you? I can't say.
Jessica stopped responding to him and informed some users who started to call him out every chance they got. And this got Manglen so angry that he decided to send Jessica a lengthy message saying,
I just went to your page and now I remember seeing you doing roleplay and everyone including you was talking about you being attractive and you look like an adult to me and you wanted to roleplay and you watched me. I don't remember who watched who first, but you clicked my watch button and I just met you. So what is the problem? Plus, I read on the very same page that you were doing adult roleplay.
He also asked her if he did anything wrong throughout their interaction, saying,
You surely knew I was an adult, right? I mean, you watched me and saw my picture, right? Did I do anything you said not to do? Because obviously you're in contact with the people who are making my life miserable right now. And I never sent you any notes, never asked you to go anywhere private.
The craziest part was, Jessica and Wolf's kid weren't the only younger humans who Manglen got inappropriate with. But before his other victims would speak of their experience, another user, Unusual Kitten, would also confront him to tell him he was being creepy. But instead of taking accountability, Manglen simply got mad again, sending her profanities. However, Kitten didn't let him off the hook easily, as she responded saying,
It is creepy. You look over 50 and you're hitting on someone who's 19 and has a boyfriend. I don't care if she's married and not an adult. It's none of your business. You understand me? You should get out of here while you're still in one piece.
After much back and forth between the two, Manglen threatened to block Kitten, and the argument got even more heated.
Wow, dude. What? I only said it was creepy that you were hitting on a 19-year-old with a boyfriend. I never said anything else besides that. Now you want to start a war with me? I don't care what you think. 19 is an adult. She's good looking and I wouldn't mind dating her. I like spicy chicks.
Bro. Like spicy chicks, huh?
Although Manglen was constantly trying to end the conversation, Kitten simply wouldn't stop talking until he threatened to spread a false narrative about her doing adult work. And after that threat, Kitten let him be. But that wasn't the end of Manglen's confrontation. The next user who posted about him was Dylan, who also accused him of being weird around younger humans. However, Manglen would respond to Dylan, claiming that he had no proof to back up his allegations. Ghastly then responded under the post, saying Manglen was only in denial, but he doubled down, claiming he'd done everything openly and that no one ever had reported him. However, it turned out this wasn't the first time he would be exposed for such a thing. In 2015, 2 users, Spinning Lines and Tootsie Royce, called Manglen out on DeviantArt for the same kind of allegations, to which Manglin simply responded,
"Thank you for removing my name from the journal accusing me of vile actions, but I do want you to know you've caused further permanent damage to me, just piled on top of all the other permanent damage my life has been. I'd begun to feel welcomed and at home here at DeviantArt, but now I don't even want to stay here anymore. I do know I've been able to be a positive part of some hurting people's lives, so I do plan to stay right where I am, because it is not about me, it is about them. Nor am I seeing you're bad for what you've done, and I myself have been guilty of flinging unfounded accusations at people. It is good if we learn from our mistakes and improve our game."
But now that he's been called out again, he reached out to Zheng, trying to justify all of his deeds. But Zheng told him that he also found his stamps creepy and that he didn't want to get too involved because he had just come out of his personal online drama which lasted for 10 months. But Manglin replied,
Wait. What am I reading? What does it say? I wish I could help. I don't want to get in the middle of more drama. I just finished a 10-month-long war and a 6-month-long war.
saying,
"I would love to speak with you, but I cannot stand the word creepy. It gives me the creeps."
to which Zheng simply
Okay, buddy.
responded by telling him that he was creepy for the third time. The conversation then took an interesting turn when Zheng decided to be explicit,
Calling her attractive, kissing her, holding her. She's a little human and very not of age.
referencing the situation with Jessica.
"Simple roleplay are you talking about or what? Is she? I tried to find her age out. She won't tell me. I saw an adult roleplay on her page when I got there, and every comment on the page was that she was attractive. Are you aware of that? She doesn't want her age known on the site. Well, let's say she's at least 3 years younger than being an adult. No, I did
Uh-oh.
not, because I don't see that anywhere. Links, please?"
Manglin then sent a link to the comment section where he was explaining how he met Jessica and how she refused to tell him her age. And in this comment he also called another user, Kitty Love Passion, ugly, stating he only told women they're pretty because his compliments boost their self-confidence. He also said if he should deactivate, Kitty Love Passion would then go back to 0 favorites because he was actually the only person who had her post on favorite and complimented her. And this got Zheng so annoyed that he lashed out in his response, saying,
"Honestly, you are a disgusting person. I thought you were nice, but seeing you lash out and how immature you are, I realized I was wrong. You're a childish old man who needs to grow up. Attacking young humans and threatening to attack them. That's just pathetic. Honestly, if they're spamming you, which they aren't, then be a man and ignore them. You need some help. You're a real piece of work."
After this response, Manglin decided to block Zheng and updated his page multiple times. He eventually uploaded this avatar, which gave the impression that he was probably deactivated. For a good while, no one heard from him, until a few weeks later, when he resurfaced on his main account. Manglin would continue chatting inappropriately with smaller humans without getting caught. But that was until one of his victims found out that he was cheating on her with another smaller human. It all started when a
Oh my god. Why are these... What do I call them, bro? I can't say it. Do you have to say small humans? You can't say anything. I can't say any word. Why did these small humans even interact with these people? Like, they need to realize that the internet is not safe and the people you talk to are all evil people, okay? You gotta think like that. Because they can easily manipulate you and then it's game over from there.
user named Cuddlebeast reached out to one of these smaller humans, known as Lowen Griffin's Love, to ask about
Lois Griffin is love. Okay.
her relationship with Manglin.
"Are you and Glenn dating?" Yes. Why? Are you Glenny's friend? You could say I'm familiar with him. May I ask how old you are, Lois? I'm not of age. Please don't kill me for that. That is a good age to pick up drawing talent.
After Lois's age was confirmed, Cuddlebeast would send the evidence to Zheng, who then added it to his journal. And Zheng's journal would reach a lot of DeviantArt users, including the other younger humans who we will call Clara because of her anonymity. Clara decided to speak to Zheng about her experience with Manglin and shared with him the many disturbing messages that Manglin had sent to her while they were dating. Manglin even went as far as asking these people to show inappropriate parts of their bodies, and he also showed them his. Most of Clara's messages were blocked out because she actually reciprocated Manglin's energy without
How dumb are these girls? You really would send
knowing who he was, and therefore doesn't want them displayed. And so after a bunch of DeviantArt users saw how disturbing these chats are, they started posting about Manglin and his accounts, warning others to be careful around him. And because of the sheer amount of backlash he received, Manglin would again deactivate his account for a while. But that wasn't the end of it. Before the other users could actually breathe a breath of relief, he was already back, like he never left, on 2 accounts named Selfish Bastard and Wounded Lion Heart. It wouldn't take long for these accounts to be identified as belonging to him, leading to another round of backlash. And when he couldn't bear it anymore, Manglin once again deactivated his accounts and went silent for a while. But on April 3rd, 2016, a user posted a journal journal about a registered offender who'd been chased off the platform, but recently came back under the name So That's What's Up. The journal details how he used pictures of female younger humans to hide his depravity and deceive everyone. And a part of his journal says,
"We didn't know that he'd return to the internet. I expected the local police to arrest Glenn and put him in prison for several years, or someone paid to get Glenn out of jail, or he was a great lucky boy when he got out of trouble."
This not only confirmed that the said offender was Manglin, but also that he was reported to the police. Unfortunately, they did nothing about it. And as always, once the truth came out, Manglin would disappear. But for the umpteenth time, he showed up again, this time as Peter Griffin's love. Shortly after his return, more evidence of his
Okay, that's a clear giveaway because the other girl was named Lois Griffin's love.
inappropriate conduct started to pop up, which led to some users to create an online petition against him. Now eventually the petition received close to 200 supporters, which led to his deactivation in 2017. But again, Maglin's disappearance and reappearance kept happening until 2018, where he showed up again as Tennessee Tomcat. And the news of his comeback began circulating with his journal that read,
"It turns out that a registered offender came back on the internet under the name Tennessee Tomcat. I'm trying to avoid tagging him. If he finds this, he has to search this entry."
And on April 9th, 2018, another DeviantArt user, username 91, posted about the same account saying,
"Yes, you heard it. Glenn is back. I thought the police already took care of him. Unfortunately, he's back. I just get information that one of the biggest offenders on the internet has returned. His name is Glenn, who's over 50 years old. He's obsessed with younger humans, mostly females. My advice is to report it to the local police or FBI government if possible. Do not attack him. Block him. Report him and his activities to the administration, and they will take care of it."
Again, Manglin was in the process of losing another account, as the other users reported it constantly. But while Manglin thought losing the Tennessee Tomcat was the worst thing to happen to him, something more serious was brewing in the background. On April 24th, 2018, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office received a report from a DeviantArt user, identified as Samantha Tavares, about the account Tennessee Tomcat. According to Samantha, she's read a journal that detailed how Manglin roleplayed with another user named No Life Lady, who's a smaller human. Samantha also alleged that the journal contained screenshots of Manglin sending photos of his parts to No Life Lady and also requesting the same. The detectives immediately began investigating the report and called Manglin in for an interview, and it was later revealed in the court documents that Manglin, whose real name is Glenn Fred Glatz, is a registered offender, was initially arrested in May of 2005 for having inappropriate contact with smaller humans. And
Why do they let them go? This is the biggest problem that I've noticed. I be watching Gideon, and there's a lot of times where he gets the job done, and then the police does nothing about it. They're like, why are you bothering this guy? And then there's a lot of times where they let them free. And it's like, and you know, this, oh man, justice system and PDF files, I don't know. There's something going on in the background.
sentenced to 20 years in prison for his crimes. However, Manglin was released ahead of his time because he was able to accrue enough good conduct sentence credits. But it didn't take long for him to have another run-in with the law. And so in 2017, he was indicted on an attempt to lure a smaller human and contributing to delinquency of a younger person. However, he got away with minimal punishment for the lack of substantial evidence. Because of his record with the law, Manglin was supposed to submit every username, phone number, and even email he uses so he could be tracked. But Manglin didn't submit it all, especially his DeviantArt details. And so once the police started an actual investigation into his case, Manglin would be invited for an interrogation. Initially, he lied about using DeviantArt, but later admitted that he used it a few times before shutting it down. And when asked about the Tennessee Tomcat account, he claimed he didn't have anything to do with it, before later lying that his female friend JC Corum created the account, and he only used it a couple of times. The detectives then confronted him about sending inappropriate photographs of himself to a younger person and also receiving the same, and he denied both of these claims. But after much back and forth, the detectives told him that they already have the pictures and a record of his conversations with the younger person, and that he could be simply arrested, locked away forever, and having his dogs taken away from him if he continued lying to them. And for the fear of losing his dogs, Manglin confessed to talking inappropriately with a smaller human, but again lied that he only requested a picture of her face. At the time, the detectives hadn't actually gotten a warrant to search Manglin's phone, so they couldn't actually arrest him for any of the allegations. But as soon as they actually got a warrant, what was found on Manglin's device was much more disturbing than expected. According to court documents, Manglin had images of different younger human faces and other parts on his phone storage, and with that, the allegations against him were confirmed, leading to his immediate arrest. Once the case went to trial, Manglin's attorney would try to defend his case by saying that the detectives searched his phone without a warrant and also threatened him with his dogs to get a confession out of it. But what he didn't know was that Manglin already added to his crimes while he was awaiting trial. Shortly after his arrest, Manglin would make over 60 jail calls to a number which belonged to a smaller human, whom we will call Jane. The detectives were able to identify Jane by listening to the recorded telephone calls, where Manglin mentioned her first name. Jane and her parents were then called in for an interview too, where she admitted to being Manglin's girlfriend. She also confirmed that she knew he was much older, and that she also lied to him about her age. She then mentioned that she sent him images of herself shortly before his arrest in May of 2018. That was already very disturbing.
Yo, I don't know what's wrong with these girls, man. I don't know. Like they're throwing away their own lives. Why would you send pics back? He's putting that. He can put that online and ruin your life. That's what they don't understand. Like, my goodness, there's no internet safety for these girls.
But Jane wasn't the only smaller human in this case. The detectives found about 3 other younger humans involved, while 2 of them being teenagers and 1 not yet even in her teenage years. Eventually,
Why are they on DeviantArt? You know what? Yeah, what? They should just be on like games. They should be on like mini clips and like Cabo Hotel and I don't even know. What is it, 2015, 2016? I'm saying stuff that I played as a kid. I don't even think who was even playing mini clips in 2015 and 16. They should have been on their iPod Touch or something, okay? They should be playing that game called, I forgot the name. They should have just been on an iPod Touch playing Temple Run and whatever. Angry Birds, okay? They should not be on DeviantArt talking on the forums.
on July 28, 2023, he was found guilty of 4 counts of production of small human explicit content, and on October 16, 2024, Manglin was sentenced to life in prison. And while it seemed like the most disturbing case in the DeviantArt community had just been concluded, what follows is gut-wrenching, as it involves the lives of a lot of people.
Police say their plan was to walk into the Halifax shopping center with rifles and open fire.
Oh my god, this video is not over. A match made in hell. Some couples. So I'm gonna just predict. So they met on DeviantArt and then orchestrated a mass shooting in a mall.
It's 2006, a time when renowned
2006!
author Stephanie Meyer had teenagers in a chokehold with her book Twilight and its sequel New Moon. And while some were obsessed with the books, some disliked them so much that they created a forum named Twilight Sucks to criticize.
Bro, I remember. Yo, this. Oh, she made this in 2006. So I'm thinking about the movies, bro. I was like in 7th grade. I'm pretty sure. I think I was in 7th grade. So what year is that? I have to check. 7th grade. 2011. No, it might have been. No, that was before that. Hold on, when did the movie come out? Wait, let me look that up. Twilight movie. Oh, 2008. Okay, 2008. I was like 10 years old. Oh my goodness. The book came out 2006. 2 years later, the movie. First movie comes out. I'm like 10 years old. Because I remember people in my grade were reading this book at like 10, 11 years old. And I was like, what is this? Like, I was trying to get in on the hype. And I was like, yo, I want to read this book. And I remember asking my parents, and then my brother was like, you're not reading this book. He straight up was like, you're not going to read this book. This guy low-key trying to roast me at 10 years old. He's like, you're not reading this book. And I was like, I wanted to read it. But now I realized that was not worth it, okay? The hype was not worth it. There's better books out there, okay? Like Percy Jackson. That's a better book, you know what I'm saying? Percy Jackson. What else was there? No, Hunger Games came out when I was in high school. No, actually, did it come out? No. It came out a little bit before. I think I was still in elementary school when that book came out. Anyways, yeah, Hunger Games. Percy Jackson. Chronicles of Narnia. Yo, I had the whole series. Fire books. Alright, anyways.
And mocked the writer. The forum soon developed its own subculture, becoming a space where members discussed personal issues and shared edgy humor. And although everything was lighthearted, certain members took things too far, resulting in their ban from the space. One of them was Lindsay Savannah, a half-white, half-Asian girl who was an active member of the forum under the username Blonde Guardian. Lindsay was kicked out of Twilight Sucks because she suddenly became vocal about her support for a certain Austrian dictator whose ideas and actions led to one of the deadliest periods in human history.
How do you go from Twilight Sucks to this guy? How do you go from that? There's no correlation. How the hell do you go from hating Twilight to this guy?
Then joined DeviantArt instead, under the username SnoopyFem, where she expressed her extremism through art without being questioned or judged. Now at the same time, Lindsay had a Tumblr account under the name School Attacker Chick, where she
Oh hell nah.
posted random photos of herself and also engaged in communities that celebrate tragic events like the tragic Columbine attack. For context, the Columbine incident was a 1991 school attack in Colorado where two students, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, sent 13 people out of this world and injured many more before ending themselves as well. On DeviantArt, Lindsay connected with Violent Art and posted more under the Columbine hashtag, so other like-minded people could find her easily. At the same time, Lindsay was also a member of a blog site named Just Girly Things, where girls post random stuff about female experiences. And there she found a post showing an image of two girls who appear to be best friends, with the caption, "Not being able to live without your best friend." Lindsay thought it was a dumb thing to dream of living with a friend forever instead of dying together. So she created her own version of the image using the pictures of the Columbine attackers lying dead next to each other to the original post. She then posted it on DeviantArt using the Columbine tag. Now while the post got regular attention, it would catch the eye of one particular user, 19-year-old James Gamble, the one person who would change Lindsay's life forever. James followed Lindsay immediately and she did the same. And out of curiosity, Lindsay went through James' now deleted blog known as Shallow Existences. There he posted a lot of things about the Columbine incident and other violent events just like Lindsay. Seeing that they had so much in common, Lindsay would send a message to James, who then replied almost immediately. And from there, the two hit it off, taking the conversation to Facebook, where they spoke all day, every day. Now they would go from talking about a random fashion item to hatching one of the most horrifying plans in recent history.
Then we can coordinate outfits and look redacted. That'd be sick. And just sort of terrify everyone. One of my favorite hobbies. Where do you usually scare people? Just in public in general. Because I was just thinking, if you had a usual hangar or something, I'd show up there too. And then people would be like, oh god, there's two of them. That would be perfect. And we just sort of exchange conspiratorial glances before staring at them. Hopefully send them running. What a great day to spend a day just terrorizing normal, inferior people.
And from there, things took an even darker turn, with James expressing how he would love to terrorize people on a larger scale someday. And Lindsay found this interesting and would start asking for details of James's twisted fantasy. To that, James responded,
"Rifle, shotgun, outfit, ammo knife. I only have 13 bullets for the rifle though, so I have to make them count. It's also a single shotgun that can only fit one shell at a time, but it's better than nothing. I just wish I had a partner that would take the shotgun, while I take the hunting rifle. Way less chance of getting attacked or jumped if I had a partner."
And immediately the plan started to progress, as the two agreed to severely attack a large number of people. Lindsay volunteered to work hard for the money they would need to execute the plan, while James talked about his hatred for people and life itself. Soon the two began to develop romantic feelings for each other, but unlike most lovebirds who plan to live together forever, Lindsay and James dreamed of dying together. And to make things worse, they began to believe they'd been possessed by the spirits of the Columbine attackers.
Okay, relax.
Harris and Dylan Klebold. Lindsay and James then decided to choose a location for their attack. Firstly, they agreed that it would be a place in Canada where James lived. This meant
Whoa, that's where I live too, man. Yo, relax.
that Lindsay, who lived in Illinois in the US, would travel
She's coming all the way from there to here?
down there. Now they had to choose the exact place in Canada, and at first, James suggested the hospital, but Lindsay rejected the
Yo, that nah.
idea because she didn't think it would be fun enough. She then suggested
Psychopath behavior?
the library, which she also turned down because it would be too similar to the Columbine incident. Later, James would then suggest a mall, and this time it sounded perfect to Lindsay because there would be a lot of people. James lived in Halifax, and so for proximity, the Halifax shopping center was chosen at the location for the attack. The plan was deadly: go into the food court bathrooms at the Halifax shopping center, change into their carefully selected outfits, get their weapons, and open fire on everyone in the food court. James planned to target middle-aged Christian women, while Lindsay was
How are you gonna figure that out, that they're middle-aged Christian women? And then how is she gonna figure born of poor genetics? What is this criteria?
looking to attack people she considered were born of poor genetics. And once they almost exhausted all of their bullets, they planned to leave this earth together at the count of 3, just like the Columbine attackers. Now, after the plan was finalized, they decided to select a date to carry it out. Initially, they chose February 1st, 2015, because that was the earliest Lindsay could arrive in Canada. But James suggested February 14th, because there would be a lot of people at the Halifax shopping center, and the attack would hold much more significance.
Valentine's Day shooting.
as it would be tied to Valentine's Day forever. They then posted an image on their blogs to hint what they were about to do. The post included pictures of them both wearing scary masks with a splatter of blood in the background and a text that says
Der Untergang. Valentine's Day is going down.
And der Untergang is a German phrase meaning the downfall in English, and also the title of a 2004 film depicting the last days of their favorite dictator. Lindsay then wrote a manifesto on her page hinting at the mass attack. However, the post was scheduled to upload after the crime would have been committed and when she would have left the earth herself. Lindsay was supposed to arrive at James's parents' house on February 12th, 2015 and stay there for 2 days before they carried out their plan. But James' parents actually didn't allow them, so James instead planned to make his parents leave the earth on
Are you serious?
February 11th. That way he and Lindsay could have the house to themselves. However, on that day, for some reason, James simply couldn't move ahead with this plan to end his parents, so he asked his friend Randall Shepard to pick up Lindsay at the airport and take her to his house, where the two could meet to carry out their plan. Now, Randall wasn't really involved in the plan. He was just a depressed 20-year-old who told James about his plans to leave the earth, and so he requested that James attack him. But instead of doing so casually, James asked him to go with them to the mall to record them while committing the crime.
Oh, hell no. Don't tell me this is still out there.
And afterwards, he would fulfill his request. Now on February 12th, 2015, Lindsay snuck out of her parents' house in Illinois and went straight to take a train to the airport, where she then boarded a flight to Canada. But while she was actually still in midair, the Canadian police received a tip about the attack and acted.
Okay. Who leaked it?
On it immediately, and after learning that the entire planning had taken place on Facebook, they requested access to James's chat logs. And of course what they found were the horrifying conversations he had with Lindsay, including the pictures they shared about their plans. Now one of the pictures shows James holding a gun and a knife, while another one shows Lindsay wearing her planned outfit for the attack. And so the police immediately drove straight to James's house, surrounded the buildings, and called him on the phone to inform him that he would be taken in for questioning regarding alleged threats made through social media. Now the police told James to exit the building while they waited for him, and James promised to be out in a minute. But a few seconds later, a single gunshot rang out of the building. The police
He unalived. He unalived.
To go in anyway. There they found James's body lying on the ground from a gunshot wound, self-inflicted. Officers then sent Lindsay's pictures to the Canada Border Services Agency at the airport, instructing them to detain anyone matching that description. And a few hours later, Lindsay would arrive at the airport, only to be flagged by Canadian Customs, questioned, and eventually arrested. At the same time, Randall, who was waiting at the airport to take Lindsay home, was also arrested and taken in for interrogation. Now, while this was happening, Lindsay didn't know what had happened to James. And when the detectives asked her a question about the attack, she refused to respond, saying that only James had an answer. Now, one of the detectives actually told her that James was no longer here. And so at that moment, she realized that there was nothing else she could do other than to admit to her charges and only unveil a small part of the horrific plans she and James had cooked up. Lindsay would maintain her silence for the next few years, refusing to share details of how everything had happened, from thoughts to plan, until 2019, when she eventually granted an interview to a true crime podcast known as the Nighttime Podcast. And thanks to this interview, we were able to get a grasp of the true backstory. According to Lindsay, the plan would have been successful. James simply was careful about it, as believed he said too much about the plan to some friends. Now, a few months after recording the podcast episode, Lindsay then pleaded guilty to conspiracy to end people's lives, conspiracy to commit arson, illegal possession of weapons for dangerous purposes against the public, and making threats over social media. And on April 20th, 2018, she was given a life sentence without possibility of parole for 10 years. And ironically, Lindsay was sentenced on the same date as the Columbine attack, which happened on April 20th, 1999. And crazily enough, it was also the birthday of the dictator whom Lindsay adored so much. Now, Randall also pleaded guilty on the charge of
of course, all this freaking aligns together.
Conspiracy to end people's lives. And on July 27th, 2018, was sentenced to 10 years in prison too. However, in 2021, Randall was paroled into a halfway home where he would be prepared for reintegration into society after completing his term. Lindsay, on the other hand, tried to appeal her sentence in 2019, but was eventually denied. Now again, in February of 2025, Lindsay appealed her sentence again, stating the punishment was too harsh and extreme for the crime she'd committed, but in the end, she was denied once again.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, she tried, bro. She tried 2 times. She really thought she could escape, huh? You a psychopath, okay? You a psychopath.
2025, Lindsay appealed her.
That was crazy. Obviously, that freaking high school drama section was the worst part of the whole video. But then it got better. And then it ended off perfectly fine. I like this story. I like it because it was interesting and not boring, and it's disturbing. That's all I was trying to say. Anyways, Yapmaster for another video 2 days ago. Let me give that a thumbs up. Cause yeah, he uploaded this way earlier during the week, and then he took it off, and then he fixed it. DeviantArt always scared me. The first time I went on, I saw literal. Okay. I remember my girlfriend was both 16, got comments on DeviantArt about her feet. Oh my god. Why are you posting on DeviantArt at 16? Nobody in the creep show art drama was clean. Dude, that creep show art, I never want to hear that name ever again, okay? That is the biggest piece of garbage high school drama that I did not care about at all. As someone that used DeviantArt for 15 years, starting at age... You guys can't even read. I need to take 30 minutes to myself before starting this one. Like, I didn't even know about this website at 11 or 12 years old. I don't know how these people just magically find this website at that young of age. Like, I knew, like the only bad website is like Newgrounds for me, I guess. But like that, it's not that bad. And then I say that, and then this guy's next video, disturbing moments in the Newgrounds community. Oh my god. I think that the main thing is like these people like made an account and did everything. Like even when I was using Newgrounds, I don't think I ever made an account. I just played the games. It was like, oh, why do I need to make an account? Just play the game. But these people are making accounts and then going crazy on the forums. And then all this happens. Anyways, that was a crazy video. Yapmaster, you guys for watching me suffer from that creepshow art section. I love y'all. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe. Road to 500 subs. By the end of the year, we can do it. I believe in you. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.